Hello, YouTube. It is Wake, of course, and today we're going to be talking about who and who should not the Redskins draft or the Commanders draft this year in 2025. Okay, so the Commanders own a first, second, fourth, sixth, and seventh pick in this draft, so that is a total of five, which is not good, but it could be worse. Could be worse. We got Laramie Tunsil in a trade, and we got Debo in a trade, so we gave a few picks away this year to get those players, which I think was a great move. Laramie Tunsil's a great player. He's really going to help seal that edge on the tackle side and help Jaden have more time to, do that Jaden magic, that little swoop, 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 swoop. Okay, and I'm embarrassing myself, but Jaden's low key the goat. Anyways, I want to start off by talking about the first round and specifically who we would take with the 29th pick in the draft. Thankfully, we have Adam Peters, who's an amazing GM, so I'm sure he'll figure all of this out before draft night. Anyways, let's get into it. So I'm just gonna start by listing five players who I think, if they're available, we need to instantly draft them. Now, these players probably will not be available after the 29th pick, but if they are, we should totally pick them. My first one is Mr. Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia. Dude is a demon on the field. I'm talking about flying shades of Sean Taylor out there. Like, obviously he's not Sean Taylor, but he's a dog, and I could totally see him in Washington. Now, safety isn't our biggest need in the first round, so that would be an issue because we probably need an edge rusher slash cornerback slash offensive line and a little bit more than safety, but safety is always a hot commodity since we just traded away Jeremy Chin in the offseason. Okay, number two, Kelvin Banks Jr., the tackle from Texas. That is a big dude. Kelvin Banks is a dog, and I could totally see him on the opposite side of Laramie Tunsil, helping seal that edge, like I mentioned before, for Mr. Jaden, JD5, Miracle Maker, Jaden Daniels. I'm glazing, okay? We haven't had a good quarterback in 40 years, so just chill. So yeah, tackle. If he's there, we got to take him. That's one of our biggest needs. Okay, so here's a bit of like a problematic slash like controversial pick here. Mike Green, the edge from Marshall, I'm super high on. Now, he's kind of like the boom or bust prospect. That's like a buzzword you always hear, boom or bust prospect. But I don't think he's a boom or bust prospect because we have such a good coach in Dan Quinn for defensive players. He took Micah Parsons. Obviously, Micah was a little bit better in college and played better competition. But he took Micah Parsons and made him into Micah Parsons. So I really think Mike Green could have a tremendous future in Washington if he's available, which he probably won't be. Most drafts have him going like 15 to like 20 range. But, I mean, I'd love to have him in Washington. Now, the fourth player that I could really see us drafting, and we need to if he's on the board, is Donovan Ezeraku, the edge from Boston College. This guy is awesome. Let me tell you, this dude got like 16 sacks at BC last year, like in the ACC, which was really, really good conference last year. You got Miami, Clemson, Duke. You've got, Syracuse was really good. A lot of great teams from the ACC. And he kind of dominated. Like, he was typically the best player on the field at all times. Now, this guy doesn't have like the best physical gifts, but he's just like a grinder. He gets in there, he gets a job done. Like, he's an awesome player, and I'd love to have him in Washington. Although, like everyone else I've mentioned, probably will not be there for the 29th pick. Now, I have like a half and half pick for number 5, and they're both receivers. And my favorite ones in the draft are Matthew Golden and Emeka Egbuka. Matthew Golden, obviously from Texas, Egbuka, obviously from Ohio State. I think these are the best wide receivers in the draft. I know that it's like super controversial, and we'll see because wide receiver prospects are always hit or miss. But I just love Matthew Golden. Like, he would fit in our offense so well because Terry's already like our like route running threat. Obviously, Terry doesn't have the speed he used to have, but I mean, Matthew Golden brings that 2.29 speed, like 4.29 speed. Like, he's a demon, and I think Washington really needs a guy that can, push the ball downfield vertically instead of horizontally, which is kind of what you get with Debo. He doesn't have that speed either that he used to have in his career. So I think Matthew Golden would really help to verticalize our offense and really stretch it out and push defenses to cover us defense like further back down the field instead of knowing we're just going to run like a 15-yard in. And then Emeka Ibuka, just another great historic career at Ohio State. I mean, he was an absolute dog from the day he stood, like the day he went to Ohio State to the day he left, a champion this year. I mean, I couldn't sing enough praises for Emeka Ibuka. He loves Terry. I mean, we love Ohio State guys here in Washington. I think Ibuka would be an amazing fit. I really do. I think he would be awesome to have in Washington. But the drawback to taking receiver here is just we have so many needs that aren't, like receiver's the pretty fun pick, but like we need a nitty gritty, like we need a John Harbaugh pick, like just O line, D line. That's what we need. We don't really need the flash in round one. Now I'll get into what I think we should do in round two later. Okay, so now we've done our do drafts. Now we're gonna do our don't drafts. And if you guys are still here with us, please, please, please like and subscribe, guys. Come on. Trying to make me famous. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Just kidding. In all reality, guys, it just really helps me. It helps push my video to more people if you like and subscribe, because on average, about 99% of my viewers are not subscribed. So let's get those numbers up so they're not rookie numbers anymore. Anyways, let's go back to actual rookies in my don't draft section. Now, in the 29th pick, if these players are available, we will want to draft them, but we shouldn't. And I'll explain why. My first one is Omarion Hampton, the running back from UNC. Now, Hampton's an amazing player. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a dog. Straight up dog, baller. I watched a lot of UNC last year. But I just don't think running back is a first round priority pick for us. Unless Ashton GT is there, but he won't be. Like, unless he's a one of one, we shouldn't pick a running back. Now, Omarion Hampton's going to be a dog. I really think he's going to get taken by, I think he might go to Denver with Sean Payton. I think that he would work really well in that system since they really have no running backs at all. Okay, so now my second don't draft is Luther Burden. Now, Luther Burden is a guy that actually has said that he wanted to go to Washington pre-draft. I think he's a really good player, but just not the fit we kind of need in Washington right now. I think we need a shifty, we need a fast guy like Matthew Golden as opposed to a Luther Burden who's a little bit bigger and taller. While like that is a super great skill set. Look at Julio Jones, like Megatron, like those types of wide receivers can flourish if they're a designated wide receiver one, but I don't think Luther Burden would be our wide receiver one, so I don't think that would be a great fit for Washington. But Luther Burden is a great player. I think he'll really flourish in the NFL if he goes to the right team. Okay, so the third don't draft is the cornerback from ECU, Siobhan Revel. Now, I was really high on Revel, like really early in the year, like mock drafts in the middle of like December. But his draft stock just kind of fallen by now, because he's been dealing with the injury. I can't remember what specific injury it is, but he's just been really hurt. I don't even think he played last 2024 season. But if we could snag him in the second round, I would totally take him, but definitely not in the first round. I don't think he's that caliber of a prospect at this point right now. Okay, so the fourth don't draft player is Colston Loveland, the tight end from Go Blue, Michigan. Just kidding, don't go Blue. Anyways, he's a baller. We just don't need a tight end in the first round, at least, because we drafted Ben Sinnott last year. I think he was our third round pick, but he really just hasn't gotten enough time to know if he's good or not, because Zach Ertz was so good last year. And I think that he'll get more action this next coming year, the 2025 season. I think he'll get a lot more playing time, because Zach Ertz was brought in to just pass the torch to a Ben Sinnott or insert new tight end we draft here. Okay, and my last don't draft is Derek Harmon, who's a defensive lineman from Oregon. And he's an amazing prospect. I think he's going to be a beast. He kind of reminds me of Sexy Dexy Lawrence in New York, but the only drawback with him is we just don't need an O-line. We don't need a D tackle, because we just drafted a D tackle in Johnny Newton, and we still have Deron Payne. So I just don't think an inside D lineman should be our first pick of the draft, which is always the most important pick. So I just don't think we should spend it on one of those skill groups that we just don't really have a glaring need for right now. But I mean, if we draft him, I'm sure he would be a great player. I just don't want to see him just because of his position. Now, I have wrote down a couple of steals that I really would like us to see, would like us to pick if they fall to like the fourth, because we have that pick from the fourth that we got from the Texans for that trade with Laramie Tunsil. If we could somehow draft Xavier Restrepo from Miami, the wide receiver, in the fourth round, oh my gosh, what a steal! This guy is amazing. I'm telling you, dude. He is so good. He's going to be a beast. Think of like a Cooper Cup type, just absolute beast route runner, just dog, rack catches, speed, leadership. He's a beast, dude. He's gonna be insane in the NFL. And my second is Brayshawn Tootin from Virginia Tech. And this is the running back I really want to key in on for the Commanders. I really think he will be around in the fourth round, and we should definitely take him if he's around. He's got crazy speed. I'm a UVA fan, and he torched us this year. I mean, his speed is blazing. I think he ran the fastest 40 time out of any running back at the combine. So I really think he's going to be a dog in the league, and he could really be that like. We could really have that 1-2 punch with him and B-Rob that David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs had last year, Sonic and Knuckles. Anyways, now I'm gonna talk about more like broad draft like gossip. So I'm gonna talk about Shedeur. I know that's like so cliche. Everyone always talks about Shedeur, but he's like the hottest, like most popular player to talk about. Now I really think Shedeur is overrated. Definitely, he should not be in the top three by any means. And if he wasn't, Deion's son, he would not be a top three pick. I guarantee that. But that doesn't say that he's going to be a bad quarterback. Now I think if the right team drafts him, which I think is the Steelers, he could totally flourish in that Mike Tomlin system. I think he's a game manager type, and he's got great leadership skills. And I think he could totally flourish because they have a really good receiving core now that they just got DK. So you got DK, you've got George Pickens on the outside. I mean, that's going to be a crazy duo if you get a good quarterback. Definitely would be interesting to put Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh to help mentor, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's just so much drama. Anyways, let's talk about Jackson Dart. A huge riser on the board so far. We'll see where he lands draft night, but I've seen a lot of people saying the Rams are going to take him in the first round. I just don't see it. I just really don't see it. I think Sean McVay doesn't really. I don't think he's really in love with the Jackson Dart. I think he wants kind of more of a like. I don't know. I just think he likes a more mobile type quarterback. Obviously, Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford aren't mobile, but I think the league's kind of developing into a mobile style quarterback type league. But I could be wrong. Maybe Jackson Dart's going to be insane, but I think he's just a little bit overrated at this moment. But maybe not. Maybe he's going to be a beast in the steal. I just think he won't be. And then I just want to talk about Ashton Jeanty, dude. That dude is a jug. A jug. He's insane, bro. Jeanty is the next Barry Sanders, mark my words. He's going to be a dog. He's going to be insane. I really would love to see him go to Chicago, but I don't think he's going to get picked that late. But he would be awesome in that Ben Johnson system. But I think he's going to go to, what's his name? Carroll. I was about to say Steve Carroll. Pete Carroll in Las Vegas. I think Las Vegas is going to take him because they're probably the most boring team in the NFL right now, and they need some spice. They need some jazz. And I think Tom Brady and that group are going to really want to pursue a Jeanty type because I don't think they're going to reach to pick Shedeur at quarterback. And then the final thing I really want to talk about is a huge choice that the Browns have and the Giants have. Well, the Giants don't really have it as much, but would you take Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter? Now, I really think that this question really depends on what team you are and what are your needs. Because if your team needs an edge, obviously you're going to take the generational talent edge. But if you don't need an edge, you got to take Travis Hunter because that dude's insane. But if I needed equally an edge and a wide receiver slash cornerback, I would take Travis Hunter, dude. I just like I haven't seen anything like him since Dion, and when a player like that comes available, you gotta take him, bro. You gotta take him. I think Abdul Carter is going to be a game wrecker, like Miles Garrett, like just absolute beast off the edge. And but I just think Travis Hunter has that. He's just got it, that it that you can't really describe. He's got that it factor. I think he's going to be a special kind of player, just an absolute beast. But anyways, guys, I want you to comment down below who you think the Redskins are going to draft, who you think your favorite team is going to draft, and if my takes were good or bad. Like, was I tripping or no? I think my takes were pretty good, but we'll see who we end up drafting. I could totally see a scenario where we trade down and just get a pick on like a day 2 or day 3 in consolidation for trading down. But I'd rather pick in the first round. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today. If you liked the content, like, subscribe, comment, let me know. As always, peace.